So the big problem with OO's case is that they try to convince you that more people are going to vote for Trump without doing any analysis about what are the actual people that we're talking about. Exactly the analysis you already got from my partner, who told you that yes, of course there are people who are going to get mad because of this. These are the Fox News crowd that are going to support him in any chance. And here's the thing. No matter how angry the Fox News crowd gets, they don't get a second vote, okay? They only get one vote no matter how angry they are. So the only question here is, how is this going to affect the swing voters? Again, the people who Trump cannot win without. We completely concede that the hardcore Trumpists are not going to like this. We just don't care. I'm going to have 2 points in my rebuttal. One is I lost my paper. One is that impeachment is a political process, always has been, and we don't think that it's likely to change in preempt to what we believe we'll get from CO. And then secondly, then basically Nancy Pelosi knows her shit and she knows why she's doing this now. Okay, but before I get to that, a few points of rebuttal to what we just heard from O. So firstly, they tell us that that many people will buy into Trump's narrative. Now notice, Trump only has control of a very small part of the US media, only like the Fox News, the whatever his screamy guy names is, okay? Those are people who are going to only listen to his conspiracy theories. These are people who are already in the net. But people who are in the 15% are people who are not locked already in the bubble, okay? If that was the case, if the 15% of swing voters were trapped in the bubble, then there would have been nothing possible to do to convince them not to vote for Trump either way. What can make them not vote for Trump? Here's the important thing, because then they tell us people will only talk about the impeachment and not about issues that are important for Republicans, like defending poor Mexicans. Okay, firstly, we really don't understand why they actually think that the swingers, right, the conservatives, the guys who actually who voted for Trump last time are the people who care about Mexicans. Come on, or that there are people who care about the trade war, because the truth is that until now, a vast majority of Americans see Trump as a financial success and as a deeply conservative economic policy, and they're not likely to vote against him on that basis. But what are they likely, those swing voters, again, what are they likely to vote Trump out over? The huge issue here is the issue of respectability and acting presidential, because these are people who voted for Trump the last time, or thought about voting for Trump before that, but then looked at the way he behaved and are kind of appalled. Now, they're not sure, because they're not completely sure they can actually vote for a Democrat, but one thing they know is that they are conservative. But being conservative, notice, means that you believe in the values of being presidential, of not being a radical, of not doing too much of a mess too quick, changing the rules too fast. Now, here's the thing. This is an issue in the presidential elections. So for these people, the question of respectability is an issue. How do we get that to be an important point that they actually vote on? We bring his aides we drag them into Congress, we make them take an oath, and we make them tell exactly what he made them do. We show them that this is a lawless president that they simply cannot, in good conscience, vote for, even if that means voting in a moderate Democrat. Then they tell us, that people will not vote for Biden because Biden is a part of Ukraine Gate. So Biden is not likely to become the candidate by now anyway. He's losing in the polls. But then B, we say, at best, that is a case against nominating Joe Biden. if it was a good case if Joe Biden was the only candidate, or if the motion was this House, as the Democratic Party, would nominate Joe Biden, but that is simply not the case here. Before I get into my points, I would love your extension.
Swing states are because there is about the same proportion between left and right. And we think this will create a polarization which will shift the map into the right more severe and will weaken the Congress in the end.
Okay, again, we're telling you, you're living in a dreamland if you think that polarization is not happening already. Trump is a deeply polarizing figure. We tell you that the only question here is what are people going to care the most about? And we tell you respectability is extremely important here for those voters in the swing states. Okay, so let's get into first my second point because it is most important, which is, again, Nancy Pelosi knows her shit. So we assume that our knowledge in this room is not perfect. We don't know everything that is going on. We're not experts on the U.S. Political system. Also, we assume that there are people who have the same goal as this debate, which is, as all teams agree, pushing Donald Trump out, and those people are the Democratic Beltway leadership, not the squad, not the radicals, but people like Nancy Pelosi. Now remember that as long as the left wing was pushing to impeach over Russiagate, Nancy Pelosi, who is a rational actor, and B, has the exact interest, and C, has all the knowledge in front of her, was completely against impeaching. But exactly for the reasons that my partner showed you, she has actually changed her mind. Now what does that mean? That means that the burden now falls to opposition to show us a theory of error. They have to explain to us why the people who have the right knowledge at the right time and the same purposes as we have in this debate, they chose to impeach. If they don't show that, they are going to have trouble in this debate. We call you to propose.